This is Mr. Henry Drang, GP Advisor, Honorable Secretary General, Buddhist Federation of Australia, to read the message of the Honorable Malcolm Turnbull, Prime Minister of Australia.
Most venerable, Your Excellencies, venerables, distinguished guests, friends in the Dharma, delegates, observers, volunteers, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my great pleasure to be here to deliver a message from the Prime Minister of Australia, the Honourable Malcolm Turnbull, MP. Here is his message. I send my best wishes to everyone observing Vesak, the traditional celebration for the birth, enlightenment, and passing of Gautama Buddha, rich in symbolism and spiritual significance. This is a time for Buddhists around the world to unite in faith and fellowship to contemplate Buddha's teachings and to reaffirm their commitment to the 5 precepts. The Australian community wishes adherents well at this time of celebration and acknowledge the special contribution that Buddhist traditions make to the multicultural fabric of our society. The particular values and insights of Buddhism suggest equality, respect, and understanding not only inspire Buddhists from all walks of life and of every nationality and background, but have a meaning and relevant for all Australians. We are fortunate to live in a nation where we are free to express our opinions and beliefs, where difference is celebrated as a strength and not a vulnerability. The shared commitment of all citizens to friendship, inclusion, and peace is what lies at the heart of our success. With these thoughts in mind, I once again send my best wishes to everyone observing Vesak and hope that everyone is inspired and uplifted by these special celebrations. The Honourable Malcolm Turnbull, MP, Prime Minister of Australia. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank
you very much, Mr. Advisor.
ค่ะลำดับต่อไปนะคะเป็นสารจากท่านกัมมะอุระผู้อำนวยการศูนย์ภูฏานศึกษาประเทศภูฏานค่ะ
Coming up next, would like to invite Dr. Kamaura, President, Center for Bhutan Studies and GNH Research from Bhutan.
Your Holinesses, most venerables, ladies and gentlemen, I was asked to speak for 4 or 5 minutes, and it is the most difficult thing. If I was given 30 minutes, it would have been very easy. It would have been easier if I had a little less easy if I had been given 10 minutes or so, but to say something useful in 5 minutes is so difficult, but I have to try because it's a great honor, and I hope that some thoughts that quickly occurred to me could be a privilege for me, and perhaps some thinking about the great conference I just attended. The monks, whether they are in small numbers or big numbers, are usually referred as the gathering of the ocean of monks. They may be just 100, but still this is the respectful way you refer to the gathering of any monks anywhere. So the ocean of gathering of monks. In my humble observation of being the first participant in this Vesak celebration, I truly notice this is a great gathering of monks and scholars and institutional leaders of certain schools of Buddhism from all over the world, from some 80 countries. It is unprecedented. It's unprecedented gathering of Buddhist leadership that's emerging all around the world. And my thought immediately, the nature of and the scope of gatherings like this, really my thoughts became a bit historical, to retrospectively think about the great Buddhist councils, first council, second council, third council, fourth council, and so on and so forth, held in ancient India, as you know, in Rajagriha, Vaisali, Patalaputra, under various kings like Ajasatru, Akasloksa, Ashoka, Kanishka, and so on and so forth. The subject matter of all such councils could be summarized as two. The subject matter of all those councils, as you know, all the Buddhist leaders are fully aware, were either on matters of programs of Buddhism for the future. So this is a question of doctrine, or what to do in future. And the second important issue of all these great councils was method or procedures of how to do it, since all great organizations to move forward need some sort of procedures and discipline. So the second issue all these Buddhist gatherings dealt was the question of rules or discipline in order to move forward. And of course, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, all know how these councils then divided various issues they discuss into the three great baskets, about rules or constitutions and procedures on the one hand, on great matters of philosophy on the second hand, and lastly, sort of methods and explanation in terms of sutras and so on and so on. So my humble reflection of the past 2 days is that since His most excellent Arahat, I would say, successor Arahat, Professor Dr. Phra Brahmaputra. Just like an Arahat, we have 16, no? Starting from Agagirya to Abhidya. So just like that, he has been a pioneer, a tremendous pioneer in, for the first time during the time of great consolidation of Buddhism in the last 50 years, that he has been able to tap and bring all of us together into this convergent platform in the celebration, obviously, but underlying it, what is the program for future of Buddhism of all schools? And we draw lesson from all these councils that Buddhism, with its widest freedom of practice, that is suited to every individual in different countries, in different race, different political system, economic system, many wheels, many cogwheels. But still, we would need some unifying drive towards the future that has been unleashed by the awakening in the last 50 years. Quick, accelerating expansion of Buddhism is taking place, and there is no doubt that it will expand in diversified forms as we go forward, but still some unifying drive will be necessary. And in that respect, I took this opportunity for 5 minutes to say a few words about the path forward according to my humble aspiration and prayer. There are two paths. One is the geographical path, the physical path. And physical path also determine the journey. And in 3rd to 6th century, the physical path provided by so-called Silk Road was the greatest path of expansion of Buddhism. It traveled all main roads and side roads and tertiary roads precipitated by the Silk Road. And thus it became the greatest system of culture in the world at that moment, embraced by the greatest number of people on earth between 3rd to 6th century, I think. And then, of course, it collapsed slowly. But the other path I am about to talk is the path of prayer. It also is a way of shaping our journeys, our Buddhist journey, which is part of a long journey, as you have heard all the time, of 2,561 years journey. And all bodhisattvas, all arthats, all those emerging Buddhas travel by this road. So I'm just here to express what we might be doing rapidly in the immediate future, how to take on. And I see in that respect this forum, this movement generated by Thailand and Prabhama Pandit as the sort of central wheel to do so. Well, I think for the Buddhist practitioners, nothing need to be said. Your most excellent leaders of various schools, branches, sub-branches of Buddhism are much aware. But if we draw parallel from the most summarized ingredients of Buddhism in terms of three Tripitakas, Vinayas, and Sutras, Abhidhamma, and so on and so forth, I think the next sort of non-dogmatic, interpretive, but at the same time useful adaptations would be for us also to think in terms of the challenges, as many speakers took up this morning and yesterday, of the modern world. Our life are divided into essentially two parts. Well, actually three parts, but let us forget about the sleeping part. This part of our life as family members for 8-9 hours, and as workers for 8-9 hours every day in our short life of 70 years or so. I think we have to offer something over and above the practices as family members, as individuals. That is to say that we are increasingly coming against very big institutions, and that we may have to attempt to think about how dialogue we will hold, not amongst Buddhists alone, but against with those big vinayas in our life. The big vinayas in our life are the economic process and procedures, the system, trade process and procedures. We discussed quite a lot yesterday about education and health, where Buddhism had a great deal to contribute in terms of psychotherapy, in terms of education. And the third, we also discussed a little bit yesterday about the role we could play in environment. It was very diffuse in every speech. But above and above that, I think 3-4 subjects we have to deal are the world trading system, the economic system, and financial system, because it is the engine which is driving trade as well as economy. So I would like to wish that the great leaders here would think about that from an interpretive Buddhist point of view, sort of some kind of modern Vinaya for finance, banking, trade, economy, etc. Others were considered day before yesterday. So I would like to summarize once again that all Buddhist councils dealt with two things: programs or doctrine on the one hand, and discipline or procedure on the other. It is marvelous that this kind of gathering has been anchored by Thai government, MCU, and in particular pioneering Buddhists in the figure of Brahmaputra. But we have to move, I hope we will move very quickly into also developing some sort of greater content in terms of programs, what to do. I thank you for this great opportunity. I'm sorry I took more than 5 minutes and maybe said something totally irrelevant. I seek your forgiveness. Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much.
ลำดับถัดไปนะคะเป็นสารจากพระเดชพระคุณพระราชวิเทศปัญญาคุณรองประธานสมัชชาสงฆ์ประเทศอังกฤษและไอร์แลนด์ค่ะ
Coming up next, we would like to humbly invite the most venerable พระราชวิเทศปัญญาคุณ President of the Council of Thai Bhikkhus in the United Kingdom and Ireland.
The most venerable monks, Venerable Professor Dr. Brahmabandit, the leader of Mahajula MCU. This is my many years ago I was here to be part of the organized steering committee. In the last 4 years, I have been here, and it's the first time that I learned that the movement of the Mahajula students, which is one of them is me, have been working outside of Thailand and consider as the monks who live abroad and working for Thailand as Buddhist monks. And it's an opportunity for me to say that without MCU, I won't be here today. And on behalf of the Sangha from England, which I have been there for many years and working for Buddhism abroad, we are together and we work together to make it possibility for Buddhism go abroad and work outside of Thailand. I really concerned that what we have done in our country, wherever we are outside of Thailand now, and we won't be able to do much for the homeland that we live in. By saying that, most of the Buddhist monks all over the world who come here today, all of you here, and on behalf of the Buddhists in your country, I see that from time to time you have your problem in your country, and we consider as a Buddhist monk what we can do for our country. However, as the last declarations of the Sangha meeting in Singapore, I was appointed to be the founder or whatever that register of the Buddhist Dhammatutta monk in the world organization, which is asked to register in England. So today, I would like to let our friends who live outside of Thailand to consider the work of the Mahajula children, especially students who've been working very hard to consider what we can do for Buddhism, for the land that we are outside of Thailand, and also to consider how can we do work together to help Thailand in a good direction in the future. As Buddhist country, on behalf of the Sangha in UK and on behalf of students of MCU who live abroad, I really want to say two parts that we like to make it clear here. One, if students of MCU who are Dhammatutta monk to join the World Buddhist Dhammatutta organizations, which is going to be established in UK sooner or later this year. Secondly, how we can make our monks who study in Thailand to be able to study abroad and also to make possibility for them to go ahead with their education in the future and also for Buddhism in the future. And lastly, what we are teaching in our country to make it possible to make the books or the teaching go to the same direction. And lastly, every monks who live in Buddhist country, I would like them to consider how can we make our country or the monks to protect Buddhism where we live. Thank you very much.
นมัสการและขอบพระคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, most venerable sir.
ลำดับต่อไปนะคะเป็นสารจากพระเดชพระคุณพระเทพพุทธิวงศ์ประธานสมัชชาสงฆ์ไทยในสหภาพยุโรปค่ะซึ่งอ่านโดยพระวิเทศบุญญาภรณ์หรือพระอาจารย์บุญถิ่นค่ะ
That is the message from most venerable พระเทพพุทธิวงศ์ President of the Council of Thai Bhikkhus in Europe, read by Venerable พระวิเทศบุญญาภรณ์บุญถิ่น please.
ศาลจากสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปพระธรรมพุทธิวงศ์ประธานสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปได้มีสารถึงการประชุมวันวิสาขโลกดังต่อไปนี้สหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปมีวัดไทยในต่างประเทศปัจจุบันมากกว่า100วัดและมีประชากรที่อยู่ในทวีปยุโรปทั้งสิ้นรวม43ประเทศ มีประชากรทั้งสิ้น799.5 ล้านมีชาวพุทธอยู่อย่างน้อยประมาณถึง 2.5 ล้านชาวพุทธในทวีปยุโรปที่ไม่เป็นทางการอาจจะมีมากกว่านั้นสภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปรู้สึกเป็นเกียรติอย่างยิ่งที่ได้รับเชิญมาร่วมในงานวิสาขโลกการเฉลิมฉลองวันวิสาขโลกและเป็นวันที่สำคัญของสหประชาชาติสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปในปีนี้ได้มีการจัดงานสำคัญขึ้น2 งานที่จะได้กราบเรียนให้ท่านทั้งหลายได้ทราบงานแรกคืองานประชุมสันติภาพโลกร่วมกับประเทศสวีเดนจัดขึ้นในวันที่30 เดือนมิถุนายน 2561ซึ่งเรียกเป็นภาษาอังกฤษว่า Stockholm International Conference 2018 งานที่2คืองานประชุมสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปจัดขึ้นที่วัดพุทธารามเมืองแวมโดกรุงสต็อกโฮล์มทางภาคเหนือของประเทศสวีเดนเมืองบูเดนในวันที่7ที่8เดือนกรกฎาคม 2561 ท่านทั้งหลายคงทราบอยู่แล้วว่าวันสำคัญที่มาถึงทุกๆปีคือวันวิสาขะซึ่งเป็นวันสำคัญของชาวพุทธและปัจจุบันนี้เราได้รับเกียรติอย่างสูงสุดจากองค์การสหประชาชาติได้กำหนดให้วันสำคัญของวันวิสาขบูชาเป็นวันสำคัญของโลกประเทศสวีเดนเป็นประเทศที่ให้ความสำคัญอย่างยิ่งในเรื่องของด้านสันติภาพทุกๆปีประเทศสวีเดนเป็นประเทศที่มอบรางวัลโนเบลทุกๆปีเพราะฉะนั้นปีนี้เป็นเกียรติอย่างสูงสุดของชาวพุทธและของทุกๆศาสนาที่จะมีโอกาสได้ไปแสดงในเวทีโลกคือที่สต็อกโฮล์มซิตี้ฮอลล์ในวันที่30เดือนมิถุนายน 2561จึงขอเรียนเชิญผู้นำชาวพุทธทั่วโลกได้ไปร่วมประชุมงานสันติภาพโลกในวันที่30เดือนมิถุนายน 2561 ณ ที่กรุงสต็อกโฮล์มประเทศสวีเดนโดยพร้อมเพรียงกันในโอกาสนี้สหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปและคณะกรรมการจัดงานได้มีหนังสือเชิญผู้นำรัฐบาลสถานทูตและองค์กรศาสนาทุกๆศาสนาไปร่วมประชุมรวมทั้งผู้นำรัฐบาลไทยและกระทรวงวัฒนธรรมจึงขอให้ท่านทั้งหลายที่เป็นผู้นำชาวพุทธทั่วโลกได้ให้เกียรติเข้าร่วมประชุมในโอกาสนี้และขอให้การประชุมการเฉลิมฉลองวันวิสาขโลกในปีนี้จงเป็นการประชุมที่ยิ่งใหญ่และเป็นการประชุมที่แสดงถึงความเมตตาต่อชาวโลกและหวังอย่างยิ่งว่าผู้นำชาวพุทธจากทั่วโลกจะได้สร้างสันติภาพโลกร่วมกันสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปขอกราบขอบพระคุณอย่างสูงต่อท่านประธานจัดงานศาสตราจารย์ดร.พระพรหมบัณฑิตที่ท่านได้ดำเนินการจัดงานร่วมกับคณะกรรมการจัดงานขึ้นอย่างสมบูรณ์อย่างยิ่งและขอให้ท่านทั้งหลายที่เดินทางมาร่วมงานประชุมวันวิสาขโลกในปีนี้จงเดินทางกลับภูมิลำเนากลับประเทศของท่าน โดยสวัสดิภาพพระธรรมพุทธิวงศ์ประธานสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปพระวิเทศปุญญาภรณ์เลขานุการสหภาพพระธรรมทูตไทยในทวีปยุโรปอ่าน
กราบนมัสการขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, Venerable Secretary Sir.
ค่ะและลำดับถัดไปนะคะเป็นสารจากท่านโซจองประธานนิกายโฉเกประเทศเกาหลีใต้ค่ะซึ่งอ่านโดยพระธรรมาจารย์จินวอลลีค่ะ
And the last message is the message of Venerable So-Chung, President of Soche Order of Korean Buddhism, read by Venerable Jin Won-lee, please.
Good afternoon, all venerable member of Mahasangha. I just deliver on behalf of the President of the Choge Order. The entire world is celebrating the Vesak for Buddha with blooming flowers of peace. Buddha came to this world to teach us that we are all the most pure beings with Buddha nature at our heart. We did not end with just achieving his own enlightenment, but continue to practice endlessly for peace and comfort of all sentient beings. The amazing scientific development in the fourth industrial revolution will open up an astonishing future world. We need to be main actors in enhancing our lives with the spirit of the wisdom and compassion and in leading the world peace. In order to do that, we need to examine our own greed and ignorance. We need to create the future of pure honesty and self-sufficiency instead of the future for merely satisfying our greed. This is the world of coexistence we shall form. If we have recovered the ordinary pure mind and lives with a sincere heart, everyone we meet will be a bodhisattva, and everywhere we go will be the pure land of the utmost bliss. If we can all lives as Buddha from this moment, every day would be a Buddha's day. I pray that the intrinsic meaning of Buddha's day would bloom as flowers in our mind, filling it with the scenes of peace and happiness. I just, the opening was skipped some part because you are maybe tired, so because of time. Finally, I just would like to ask you all to pray for peaceful reunification of Korean Peninsula. You know the library news, the meeting with the summit, North and South Korea, and also North Korea and the United States. So it's very important for the world peace. So I would like to ask you pray for peaceful unification and world peace. Thank you for your attention.
กราบนมัสการและขอบพระคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, Venerable Jin Won-lee.
ค่ะและที่จบไปนะคะก็เป็นสารแสดงความยินดีนะคะจากผู้นำชาวพุทธนะคะและผู้นำทางการเมืองของแต่ละประเทศค่ะอย่างที่กล่าวไปเมื่อตอนต้นนะคะว่าวันนี้นะคะทุกท่านจะได้พบกับการปาฐกถาพิเศษค่ะในโอกาสนี้นะคะดิฉันขอเรียนเชิญทุกท่านพบกับการปาฐกถาเรื่องการอนุรักษ์อัตลักษณ์ทางวัฒนธรรมในโลกที่เชื่อมโยงกันโดยวันนี้นะคะเราได้รับเกียรติจากท่านรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงวัฒนธรรมท่านวีระโรจน์พจนรัตน์ค่ะขอกราบเรียนเชิญค่ะ
As we informed you earlier that today we will have the special speech by His Excellency Minister of Culture of the Kingdom of Thailand. With a great honor, I would like to invite His Excellency Vira Rod Pojanarat, Minister of Culture of the Kingdom of Thailand to deliver a meaningful speech on preserving cultural identity in an interconnected world. Please.
The most venerable Professor Dr. Phaprom Bandit, Director of MCU, President of the International Council for Day of Vaisak and International Association of Buddhist University, most venerable, respected venerable Buddhist scholar, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here and deliver to you my thoughts. And I take a moment to commemorate on why the preservation of cultural identity is crucial to mankind. But first of all, may I take a moment to commemorate the birth, the enlightenment, and the nirvana of Buddha on the auspicious occasion of the upcoming Vaisak Day or Visakha Bucha for us. The follower of Lord Buddha, it is an opportunity to recapture humans' insistence on goodness and also our effort to propagate the path of peace and manliness to the world. Therefore, I am thankful for your presence here today. It has been more than 2,500 years since the Buddha created history and the great culture of mindfulness. The event of his life which we are now celebrating are widely recognized as important milestones of history. His birth in Lumpini in Nepal, his enlightenment in Puthakaya in India, and his nirvana in Kusinara. These places are important to us and became the cultural landmarks and heritage of the world. The enlightenment of the Buddha has created a culture of knowledge and understanding where humans place high importance on the power of the mankind. Not only after his time, educational institutes such as Nalanda and Taxila, where Dhamma was studied and passed on, were established. The well of Dhamma has become the symbol of learning and understanding, and is also a symbol of an effort to have the word of Buddha be heard. When knowledge was combined with art and the following centuries, the age of Buddhist art has started out with Buddhist sculpture inside a large complex, a Buddha heritage in Ajanta cave. Buddhism traveled throughout the world by taking various routes. For example, the route up north from India to China, including Tibet and Bhutan, and in Tunhuang, which is a crucial spot on the ancient Silk Road, and also Japan and Korea. The down to Southeast Asia, where Buddhist monuments stand the test of time, creating phenomenal Buddhist architecture such as Borobudur in Indonesia, where the stone narrating the story of Maya, mother of Buddha, were found, and Angkor Thom complex in Cambodia, which is the largest Buddhist site ever built. Also, Buddhism has flourished in Champa, the Kingdom of Vietnam, and also Laos and Myanmar, where Pagan is accounted as the largest Buddhist city in the world. Dharma also took the southern part, whereby many towns in Sri Lanka, such as Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa and Dambulla Cave, hold persistent Buddhist cultural influence. Buddhism traveled to Thailand since 1,400 years ago. The first archaeological evidence that held Buddhist significance were found in the central and southern parts of Thailand and were proved to be those of Thawaravadi and Sri Vichai, such as the masterpiece of sculpture of Bodhisattva, King of Kotabun Kingdom in northeastern Thailand, and Lana, Kingdom of northern Thailand, where the great follower of Buddha. The Kingdom of Sukhothai, which was establishing of Thai culture, was the golden age of Buddhist sculpture, where artistic perfection and peacefulness meet. And with Buddhism as the ethnic foundation of the kingdom, citizens in Sukhothai were free, spirited, and happy. As the name of the kingdom itself means, the dawn of happiness. Then came the first phase of the global interconnectivity. The kingdom of Asia, influenced by the Buddhist teaching of tolerance, peaceful encounter with foreigner, and brought prosperity to Ayutthaya. The city became the international port where Chinese, Portuguese, the Persian, Malayu, the Japanese, the Dutch, the French came to trade and call Ayutthaya their hometown, their home. In line with their trade, Ayutthaya kingdom was referred to as the golden age of Buddhist architecture. The interconnectedness was reaffirmed in the era of Ratanakosin of Bangkok, as we know it. With 236 years of history, people of Bangkok were excellent at bringing in new ideas of culture from foreign sources and harmoniously integrating with the way of life and existing norm. Today, Bangkok has become a world-class tourist destination with more than 22 million tourists a year. With rich history of cultural identity, Thailand is now focusing on management of cultural heritage as a tool for social and economic development. The old Sukhothai city was preserved and developed with tourist facilities such as hotel and airport, as the yearly Loi Krathong festival is recently added to tourist interest. It generates revenue of 3 billion baht per year. The Ayutthaya are known as the Great Era of Interconnectedness, where the envoy of France and other Western kingdoms came to visit. It's now a national focus. The royal barge procession was sent out to greet the honorable visit and the envoy were assigned to kingdom. In the west and the east, the record of the life of ordinary Ayutthaya citizens were found and trust. The later generation could benefit from these ancient findings. In Bangkok, the interconnectedness was emphasized through the Siamese royal envoy to Queen Victoria of England and Napoleon III of France. The diplomatic visit of King Rama V to the West, which brought Western artistic influence and technology into the Thai way of life, including architecture and trust that Bangkok has become vivid combination of old and new. As blessed by the cultural treasure from the past, we have preserved and proudly display our tradition to the world. Among many of them is the preservation of Ramayana, the mystery created in India, which has become the common cultural heritage of Southeast Asia in the form of literature, painting, and performance. Other essential traditions such as Songkran, together with royal ceremony such as the royal bath procession and royal ploughing ceremony, and well preserved and celebrated. Among royal ceremony that is now the national focus is the royal funeral, where Master of Thai Arts celebrate to produce the artwork based on Buddhist philosophy and the traditional architecture and engineering, which have been passed on over 300 years. Moreover, in the era of interconnectivity, Ministry of Culture has been supporting cultural activity in Thai Buddhist temples around the world. With more than 500 existing temples and network of Buddhist forums. So in addition, Ministry of Culture is hosting the New Year Buddhist service every year for people around the world to pray in peace. Also, we are planning to inviting Supreme Patriarch around the world to pray with us in Thailand this New Year. And after having preserving and practiced Buddhism for many centuries, it is now Thailand's turn to spread the Buddhist teaching of peace and kindness to the world as well. And not only preserving cultural identity, Ministry of Culture aims to use the cultural heritage to enhance the economy by following the 5F strategy. 5F is our intention to enhance Thailand's cultural and art production in 5 potential fields, namely food. The Thai food is as artistic statement that convey cultural knowledge. There are more than 17,000 Thai restaurants worldwide. Festival vary in each region of Thailand, and therefore tourists can enjoy festival in Thailand all year round, which will benefit the local economy and fashion. For the past few decades, we have seen the booming of fashion industry, and Thailand has effort the world is quality fabric. Together with creating design, film, Thailand is putting its effort into film production, including the productivity of animation and program and game. Thai film industry generate more than 40 billion baht each year. Fighting is mean Muay Thai has now become mainstream in sport culture. More than 10,000 Muay Thai training camps are open around the world. In addition, Ministry of Culture aims to enhance idea and creativity through the art and cultural learning among people. We have operated some improvement in national museum throughout the country. Latest technology such as QR and AR code are used in the display. And moreover, the construction of the latest extension of Thailand Cultural Center is aimed at being a global cultural service complex and Thailand as a center of art in the international level. Added to the preservation work is our intention to use cultural heritage creatively by prompting the project such as construction of Thai pavilion in foreign country, the nomination of World Heritage Site and the registration of trees that hold cultural and commercial value. This work can inspire the younger generation to preserve their identity and benefit from Thai culture when living in the world that is interconnected and moving with fast pace. It is known fact that cultural identity could be base for the national progress. I would like to point out that our effort to enlarge the cultural industry has a positive result. Thailand has been placing in list of international survey such as numbers 26 on the list of best country, number 1 in Asia's tourist destination, and number 1 on the list of global tourist destination, and number 7 on the list of the country with most outstanding culture, with cultural heritage stream from the foundation, Buddhist practice and philosophy. Thailand will achieve the sustainable development by the use of art and culture and the propagate of the peaceful path to the people around the world. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณมากครับ
กราบขอบพระคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, His Excellency Vira Rodpochanarat, Minister of Cultural Ministry, to refer a very, very meaningful speech.
ค่ะขอขอบพระคุณนะคะท่านวีราโรจน์พจนารัตน์รัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงวัฒนธรรมนะคะที่ได้มากล่าวปาฐกถาในวันนี้ค่ะและขอกราบอาราธนาพระเดชพระคุณศาสตราจารย์ดร.พระพรหมบัณฑิตมอบของที่ระลึกค่ะ
I would like to humbly invite the most venerable Professor Dr. Prapoma Pandit, Rector of Mahachulalongkorn Rajvidyalaya University, President of ICDV and IABU to kindly present a souvenir to His Excellency Vira Rodpochanarat.
ขอกราบขอบพระคุณท่านรัฐมนตรีเป็นอย่างสูงนะคะและในลำดับถัดไปค่ะจะเป็นการรายงานผลการประชุมทางวิชาการค่ะ
Next, the program presented to you is the report of panel discussions taken place on 26th at Mahachulalongkorn Rachvidyalaya Wang Noi Ayutthaya that we would like to invite Venerable Dr. Phati Thammaratana, Vice President of International Council for Day of Vesak, to be the moderator of the panel discussion report. Please, Venerable Sir.
ค่ะในโอกาสนี้นะคะดิฉันขอกราบอาราธนาพระดร.ทีธรรมรัตนะรองประธานสภาสากลวันวิสาขบูชาโลกทำหน้าที่ผู้ดำเนินรายการค่ะขอกราบอาราธนาค่ะ
Yeah, please, Venerable Sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last plenary session of the 15th United Nations Day of Vesak celebration in Thailand. We are not going to begin another panel discussion, but we are going to review our deliberations on the main theme of the Buddhist contribution for human development. I would like to call upon our moderators who has chaired our sessions. Most Venerable Bhante Chauchu from Los Angeles, I would like to ask him to come to the stage. Next, I would like to call upon His Excellency Dr. Jalen Geno, Budapest, Hungary. The next, Most Venerable Professor Dr. Kamai Dhammasamy from Oxford, United Kingdom. I am going to moderate this session and also to very briefly to present you outcomes of our 4 panels. Before I pass the floor to our moderators, I would like to quote a statement made by His Excellency Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, before 3 weeks at the United Nations headquarters had, like here, a UN Vesak celebration. His opening speech, he says, Buddhist teachings inspire for us to become global citizens. Buddhism emphasizes of non-violence stand for powerful goal of peace. From peace to climate change and then to human rights, we see how much the teachings of the Buddha so relevant in the work of United Nations today. So our 3-day celebration here in Bangkok. We have discussed about how Buddhists can contribute for the human development. That is the will, that is the wish of the global community. I am asking our moderators not to repeat any report, because you are Buddhist leaders. All of you have participated our 4 panels. So here what we are going to do to review our deliberations, and to 3 p.m. to invite Most Venerable President of our organization to present Bangkok Declaration. I would like to take this opportunity same time as our organization committee to express our gratitude and thanks for our keynote speaker, His Excellency Leonchan Daso Sherin Tobye, Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bhutan. As a Buddhist kingdom, as a political leader, he inspired all of us how Buddhism can contribute for the human development. After that, our panelists, eminent scholars, they gave their point of view how Buddhism can save the planet, how Buddhism can contribute to the humanity. You remember I was the moderator of the first panel on main theme, Buddhist contribution for human development. Our guest speaker, according to her, she says the Asia Pacific is a region that has seen tremendous economic growth, but this growth has come at significant cost to the natural environment. By 2050, some predict there will be more plastic than fish in the region. In the oceans, forest degradation continues to occur at dangerous rates and show no sign for abatement. And next, we have another speaker on the threefold training and human development that scholar has highlighted. Buddhism can train sentient beings in a holistic fashion. The training including physical and livelihood training. The training, mental, qualitative, and effectiveness. And the training, intelligent training for realizing all the phenomena as they really are. That means Buddhist philosophy can deeply enrich for the all areas of human development. Next, we have another presentation, Grief Management in Buddhism for Human Development. Grief, sorrow, desire, ignorance, all those poisons make human disasters. By better understanding of Buddhist philosophy, according to him, there would be a greater development for the humanity. And the next, scholar has highlighted a critical thinking on contribute to human development, Buddha and Aristotle and Socrates. Of course, these philosophers have much more done, but Buddha, as a prince to the heir to the throne of Magadha kingdom, he knew very well, more than Socrates and Aristotle, how a kingdom can be better governed, how to resolve the human problem. So we really appreciate, and we have last can metta transform and redirect our societies and save our environment. According to that scholar, key of human development is to happiness, fulfillment, and humanness. The difference between Buddhism to Western philosophy is rather just emphasizing on the rationality, but also balancing it out with the connectivity as expounded with the Buddhist term of wisdom and compassion. These all scholars agree, yes, Buddhism can do something. If political leaders fail to find out some solution, of course, we are ready, as followers of Buddhism, something to contribute for the humanity. That is the first panel. As I am a moderator, I would like to inform you to the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, next, I would like to call upon the panel number 2, Empowering Youth Through Buddhist Action. Most Venerable Bhante Chauchu, he was the moderator. I am asking to him rapidly review what are the outcome this panel and what is the voice of the youth in the world to reduce crisis for the humanity. Venerable Sir, you have the floor now.
Good afternoon, Most Venerable Mahasangha, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. In my panel, which is the Empowering Youth Through Buddhist Education, I had one guest speaker and 5 panelists. They collectively emphasized that there is some practical approach for bringing in our youth to learn Buddhist teaching. So there is a need to bring our youth to learn Buddhist teaching and they gave us some practical methods and examples of communicating with the youth or our children. The guest speaker mentioned that if our society is going to survive and improve in the future, we have to think about putting it in good hands in the future. So we have to look carefully how we bring up our youth. A youth is a young adult who is searching for one's own identity. It is a very interesting statement. It is unwise to criticize our youth or children for their different behavior. And also he emphasized that a sound Buddhist education can promote a good relationship between them. Them means here the children and parents. And prepare the youth on a productive and safe journey through life. First speaker mentioned that the young people need to be prepared for handling issues in their day-to-day life, and we should give them life experiences. They also have to develop and promote positive aspects of life to face their day-to-day challenges. So the Buddhist education concerns living life in a correct manner and making the right decisions about everyday issues. The second speaker emphasize that the youth are growing day by day, and these changes also there are challenges. So their physical and psychological change need to be accepted and need to be faced. Then what can Buddhists do? Encouraging the youth population to practice the Buddhist teaching, especially meditation and loving kindness. So the systematic training of these youth are important to have a piece of the family. Third speaker mentioned that the digital age is moving forward at a frantic pace, and it has made lack of mindfulness and concentration in many young people. So that creates the tendencies for violence and drugs. Here I would like to mention something that this morning I have learned that just in the United States this year, for the last 5 months, that means we had 22 school shootings. 22 school shootings and 101 mass killings, just in the United States for the last 5 months. The fourth speaker mentioned that how the Buddha's teaching can be applied directly to motivate our youth, and then explained that, of course, that the teaching them systematically to cultivate their loving kindness and developing wisdom by using the teachings of the Buddha. And the last speaker said that the proper education also needed to train our youth. They can become then the productive, science-oriented, broad-minded, and ideal citizens of the society. So the question is, how can we as a society add value to youths who are chasing their dreams? Buddhism in particular can have a big impact on youth. So the children are our future, and then they have mentioned that we need to pay more attention to understand the needs of the youth. So this is just the simple summary of the panel that I have moderated in this panel 2.
Thank you very much, most venerable Bhante Chauchu. So I would like to call upon panel number 3, Engage Wisdom Through Social Welfare. Our moderator, His Excellency Dr. Jalan Janos from Hungary. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dear Mahasangha and dear guests, I would also like to quickly summarize the main points of our panel and panelists. Our guest speaker was Venerable Professor Dr. Jing Yin, who offered a comprehensive historical analysis of engaged Buddhism. Certainly the Buddha himself encouraged the disciples to move out and engage. However, the term engaged Buddhism was penned in the early 60s by the venerable Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. And it is rich in content and has been translated even as an expression in a number of different ways. It was called left-wing Buddhism, also translated as society participation Buddhism, or action Buddhism, or even Buddhism for life. It's just some of the terms as it was translated. People are sometimes confused by this plurality of terms and the associated meanings. A kind of historical analysis can help us. 3 phases of development of the engaged Buddhism can be delineated. One might be the engaged Buddhism connected with the Vietnam War, or the second one, the socially engaged Buddhism of the late 20th century. Or we might say that spiritually engaged Buddhism is a characteristic of the 21st century. Dr. Kirivandeniya from Sri Lanka emphasized that Buddhism is a way of life and the promoter of social welfare. In his view, Buddhism became intertwined with the way of life in Sri Lanka at all levels. These days, the practice of the 4 components of the Brahma Vihara is of a great significance, and the cultivation of these virtues is an important way that the Buddhism can have a positive influence on the society and on the youth. The practice of the 10 paramitas is invaluable for not only those who aspire to attain Nibbana. The cultivation of these perfections can help with the development of people of all types and ages, and this can in turn lead to a better society. Acharya Judith Leaf from the United States stressed on the engaged Buddhism for social welfare. She emphasized that Buddhism has been developing into one of the great world religions, inspiring people from all walks of life. Westerners are coming to Buddhist Dhamma with strong background in political action, in arts, in health, in psychology, or in education of those with deep spiritual yearnings. One of the engaged Buddhists, Trungpa Rinpoche, created a new model and retreat forms to provide deep immersion into the Vajrayana tradition based on a balance of Dhamma study and meditation practice. Based on this vision, he founded schools and practice centers. When Buddhism is not yet fully established in the new culture, there are opportunities to reflect, to innovate, and to create new forms. For the Buddhist tradition to be relevant, it must speak to the culture in which it has landed in ways that can be understood for those people. Venerable Professor Chondok Park from South Korea spoke about the power of the Korean experience of 3 steps and 1 bow. The 3 steps are symbolically important as they are signifying the 3 poisons of greed, hatred, and delusion. To walk and bow are practices that are common in East Asian and Vajrayana traditions. This practice has become linked with social movements in Korea, where it has been a non-violent form of protest, thus representing a significant achievement in the transformation of previous violent practices. Venerable Ban Rao Shi from Australia has also stressed on actions of engaged Buddhists for social welfare in Australia. Most crimes are committed by juveniles, and they need a lot of compassion. To become an engaged Buddhist for social welfare, wisdom must be developed in parallel to the persistent cultivation of compassion and loving kindness. There are challenges in a fast-paced world that is based on materialism. Society needs to find appropriate ways to handle social issues. Chaplaincy, a possible choice, as well as organizing retreats for police force, counseling hospital patients, or opening a farm keeping all abandoned animals. So in short and in summary, Our panel suggests to innovatively adopt the principles of socially engaged Buddhism to contemporary social problems and in secular contexts, such as in counseling and psychotherapy, treatment of addiction and hospice, in order to transform violence into non-violence, greed into contentment, and confusion into understanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. You have a very comprehensive report. The last but not least, I would like to call upon our last moderator, Venerable Professor Dr. Kamai Dhammasamy from United Kingdom. His panel was Preserving Cultural Identity in an Interconnected World. Sir, you have the floor now.
Thank you, Venerable Chairman. Conference. I have been asked to also summarize the address of His Excellency Minister Weera Roj Pochanarat, Minister of Culture of Thailand. You have just heard him. As you know, he covered both tangible and intangible culture. And coming, from the background of an expert who has preserved both cultural and tangible and intangible culture of Thailand for many decades, the minister actually illustrated Ayutthaya and Bangkok as the city of interconnectedness in the Thai history to demonstrate uniqueness of the Thai culture, at the same time the universal value and tolerance that the Thai people have. One line that catches me from his speech is that, I quote, "The enlightenment of the Buddha has created a culture of knowledge and understanding, where humans place high importance on the power of the mind." So this is where we try to understand cultural identity. Among the speakers yesterday, the first was Professor Dr. Patraporn Srikanchana, a philosopher from Thammasat University and also Mahachula Longkorn Rajvidyalaya University. She takes the message further in the context of the Thai cultural identity by focusing on four aspects. That is how the Thai have formed a cultural identity in the areas of, number one, moral culture, number two, legal culture, number three, material culture, and number four, social culture. Of course, she explained this in the context of Fulton Benedict's theory of cultural relativism. The second speaker, Ms. Willis Ringaniesi Ikowati from Shailendra Buddhist College in Indonesia. She actually focused on Borobudur. One aspect that as a visitors, as a tourist, that we never notice. That is, out of the many sculptural depiction, 160 of them are about karma, that they use the word karma vibhanga. And there is a living performance arts preserved by the people around Borobudur, now, of course, embracing the Islamic faith, but still preserving this Buddhist culture deep in the Buddhist philosophy. Of course, she also presents this as Javanese and Indonesian culture. And she lamented that Borobudur has been desacralized, this is a word, and has become only a tourism promotion place. Other speaker is from Japan, Professor Jundo Nagashima. He also demonstrated, the interconnectedness of factors that form and condition a culture to be fluid and changing all the time. So he has taken us through the historical periods and places the position of Buddhism, in its high as well as in its low, position in the Japanese history, and thus illustrated the Japanese cultural identity. The last one is not about performing arts, it's not about cultural identity. The last paper by Professor Hong Nguyen, a Vietnamese scholar from South Carolina University in America. She actually comes from a personal identity which has gone through a lot of formation and then transformation. Formation, who am I? Then a student, a scholar, a social worker, a Buddhist, a Bodhisattva idealist, and then nobody, using the teaching of non-attachment that she has learned from both Theravada and Mahayana masters. So we can sum up all the 5 papers as promoting mutual respect among different cultural identities, and to promote that, we need to promote first a culture of knowledge, a culture of mutual understanding, and a culture of enlightenment. This cultural enlightenment recognizes universal value based on the law of interdependence. And of course, one's personal identity has gone through that kind of transformation, then we see no conflict between persons and also communities which we consider as identities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Most Venerable Dhammasami. Bangkok Declaration will be delivered at 3 p.m. With the permission of our President of the International Vesak Organization Committee, I would like to at least another 20 minutes we have for the opportunity to at least to listen to 2 or 3 questions. Most Venerable, are you permit for us? At least we have 20 minutes. May I? Thank you very much. So, floor is for you now. We have another 20 minutes. You can ask a very short, very precise some question, because this conference belongs to you. Therefore, you are here. All over the world, very far away, you flew to Bangkok. We would like to listen to your voice. Our moderators are here. Our speakers are in the conference hall. All your contributions, we have recorded, we have drafted, we have all the reports. I would like to, before close this session, to hear from you. If you have any question about our main theme, please raise your hand, because at least we have another 20 minutes. Who is going to ask the question? Yes, Venerables are here. Is there any other person? Yes, we have to. Please start from here. You have a microphone somewhere? Can you find out microphone? I will start, please. Yes, you come to one of the microphone very close. You can ask your question, please. Yes, yes, please go ahead. Make a precise your question, make short.
Yes, I have a question.
Wait a minute, please. Point of order. Yes, please go ahead. Switch on. Switch on.
Most Venerable.
You are from where? Please identify which organization, which country.
Yes. My name is Thich Duc Thuan from Vietnam.
Okay, from Vietnam. Please go ahead.
Yes. My question is that I know that we have a responsibility to work with youth, and we try to get them to our temple or any Buddhist center in order to help them, to empower them to be a good Buddhist and also to good citizen in our society. However, after a period of time, when they grow up, they go to society and they just disappear from our temple and Buddhist center. How can we continue to follow up and attract them back to our temple or Buddhist center or any activity in order to have them in our Buddhist community to help our community and also develop their Buddhist study and understanding?
Thank you. I will pass the floor for the moderator of the youth committee. Venerable Sir Bhante Chauju. Very short answer, please.
Yes, it's a good question. The number one, that we have to understand that what's going on in temples also. So we have to understand that in the temples that we have Buddhism, or what we are teaching is Buddhist teaching or culture. That's one thing. Because most of the places are doing a lot of traditional things, nothing much has to do with Buddhist teaching. And the other thing is, we have to learn how to listen to the youth. Why don't they come? What do they really need? So we need to question them to find out what they really need. Recently, I had few young students from university and college came to the temple, and I asked, "Are you going to any temples?" They said, "No." Why? We have to take off our shoes. We have to sit on the floor. At home, I never sit on the floor. See, I'm talking about simple things. So we have to listen to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The gentleman, third floor, please identify yourself and your question.
Thank you, Venerable. My name is Ananta Kumar Giri from the Madras Institute of Development Studies, India. Thank you, Sangha, all of you. This theme of Buddhist contribution to human development also invites us to face one important challenge of contemporary humanity, that is the challenge of the refugees. And as the path of Buddha is also related to refuge, I take refuge in Buddha. Therefore, what is our added responsibility to be with our brothers and sisters who are being expelled from their own countries, and some of these are Buddhist nations? Without naming, our sister from Israel was courageous enough to take about the killing of innocent people. So my submission is that the Buddhist contribution to human development, it is a fundamental challenge to be with everybody when they are being killed and being expelled from their homeland. So it is in this context, how do we bring that sense of responsibility, resonating with the spirit of political theorist Hannah Arendt, who said that to have right to right, and the spirit of the Buddha is also that all of us have inherent dignity. And so my submission is that can we really open ourselves to this challenge of being with the refugees and think ways of mobilizing support for us individually, societally, and collectively to be with all these helpless refugees and to give them a sense of refuge and a sense of hope.
Thank you. It is not a question, it is a comment. From whom you would like to ask this question?
The question is to the panelists, if you would like to comment upon what is our stand on the violation of fundamental human rights in which some of the Buddhist nations are involved.
Mr. Ambassador, please.
Certainly, it's one of the most difficult questions which anyone can put nowadays. Because of the political sensitivity of the issues involved, because of the consequences of the migration, we cannot give one simple answer to this complex issue. It is something which was going on all the time of the history. People were moving around, and that movement could create tremendous difficulties, collapsing empires under the pressure of migrations, and other ones rising as a result of handling properly or handling in a different way the movements of people around. So I don't think that today we do not have, and did not accumulated, we have not been accumulating a huge amount of experiences of how to handle in a human way and how to deal in a proper way with people who are running away from wars. Sometimes wars, and I have to confess, created by ourselves and contributed to those wars by ourselves. So no simple answers, but a huge accumulated experience, what we have to scrutinize, look into it, discuss it, and share our experiences of how to handle it in a humanistic way. Coming to this point from the point of view of Buddhism, Buddhists were also moving around the world all the time, and they were also treated and received in different ways, in different consequences were clearly emerging out of their movements. So we can see that sometimes Buddhists might also misinterpret what is the proper way to treat other people. They might even be involved with misinterpretation and mistreatment of other people with different faiths. So we have to confess that, we have to recognize that, and we have to invite them to work together with us to find ways which would release the tension rather than generate tension, and which would increase our dignity and proudness being Buddhists, how we treat other peoples and migrants walking all around the world. So that's the shortest answer what I can give, and I hope that all the people who are involved on the level of simple families receiving migrants, up to the politicians, they would all think about what is the right way to deal with a particular migrant movement in a particular cultural context, and certainly in a particular political context. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I heard somewhere as a question, this side. No. I will ask floor for the gentleman, please, followed by Venerable. Yes, question for you now.
Sir, my name is Sanjeev Bhattacharjee. I'm a registrar in Assam University, India.
Your question, please.
Sir,
your question.
Yeah. Actually, the thing is that my question relates to the question raised by one of the learned member from here, Professor Giri, I think, when he was talking about the rights of refugees. Perhaps he did not mention, but he was talking about the Rohingya refugees of Myanmar. But thing is that it has become a political issue. But basic question what raised in my mind that suppose I may become compassionate to my neighbor, to my neighboring countries. But if my counterpart does not reciprocate, then there may be what I should say fatal consequences for me. Perhaps history is witness the downfall of political power in northern India after 672 with the downfall of Harshavardhana, when India also adopted Buddhism. But there was a time when Islamic invaders from Middle East and Turk, they did not care for this compassionate attitude, and ultimately they overpowered India politically.
Thank you. Because the problem is refugee asylum. Actually, it is not relevant to our conference this time. Of course, you can meet sometime our scholars, they will explain you. This is not a place, Vesak celebration day, to resolve the refugee asylum problem. I'm very sorry, I can't ask for our panelists to answer for this question, because we gave simple answer. Okay? I pass the floor for the Venerable.
กราบนมัสการพระเทรานุเถระผมพูดภาษาอังกฤษไม่แข็งแรงครับผมขอพูดเป็นภาษาไทยจากว่ากับผมชื่อพระปณิตาจารย์แห่สวรรค์ศรีลายจันทร์มาจากประเทศสาธารณรัฐประชาธิปไตยประชาชนลาวใครมีความวิงวอนขอร้องจากบรรดาพระมหาเถระนักปราชญ์ชาวพุทธทุกท่านเนื่องจากว่าเราเป็นผู้ที่ร่วมพุทธบิดาเดียวกันฉะนั้นกระผมอยากจะค่ายขอวิงวอนบรรดาคณะผู้แทนผู้ที่ทรงคุณวุฒิที่มีพุทธศาสนาเจริญรุ่งเรืองณประเทศของตนแล้วอยากจะขอวิงวอนช่วยฟื้นฟูพระพุทธศาสนาหรือว่าการศึกษาให้กับคณะสงฆ์ที่ลาวด้วยเนื่องจากว่าตอนนี้ทางพวกกระผมได้ทำการส่งเสริมการศึกษาบาลีพุทธวงศ์ด้วยการส่งพระภิกษุสงฆ์สามเณรมาศึกษาที่ประเทศไทยแล้วก็ประเทศสหภาพเมียนมาฉะนั้นในวันนี้เรามาเริ่มร่วมกันเฉลิมฉลองวันวิสาขบูชานั้นเป็นวันที่พระพุทธรัตนมหามุนีศรีสกยบุตรพุทธโคดมบรมไตรโลกนาถผู้มีความองอาจดุจสีหะผู้มีราคะโทสะโมหะอันกำจัดสิ้นแล้วนับว่าเป็นนิมิตหมายที่ดีผมก็ขอให้วิงวอนให้กับบรรดาพระมหาเถระผู้ที่ทรงคุณวุฒิช่วยกันฟื้นฟูประเทศที่มีพุทธศาสนาอันไม่แข็งแรงขอกับนมัสการครับ
Venerable, help me for that. Question please translate to English.
Thank you. This is in Laos, in the Laos language. Actually, it's not a question, it's an appeal, it's a request. The Venerable comes from Laos. He says, okay, he appealed to Buddhist scholars, senior Mahathera brothers and sisters to help with Buddhist education in his country. Now they have sent, or they have been sending students to Thailand and to Myanmar, and they like, other Buddhist countries to help them with their education as well. Thank you.
That is appeal. So thank you very much for that appeal. So Buddhist leaders will consider how we can promote, especially for the education. We are attached with education. Even Mahachula University and many other Buddhist universities around the globe. I have with me another question, a written question with me. Most of the people in the Buddhist countries do not make use of Buddha's teaching for their own development. Where have we failed and what need to be undertaken by whom? Do our Buddhist leaders, it means monks, preach the lay people in right way? Bante Chauju? Yes, please. Simple answer. Yes, please.
Thank you. I have some thought on this. I come from education background. I think, of course, who you ask the question, I think everybody. everybody will have to participate in this, is unkind to leave everything to the government, because they are in power just for a short while. So everybody has the responsibility. But why? I think in terms of application in our education, we focus so much on personal development. We have not paid attention to institutional development. I think if we take this into consideration and kind of expand our contemplation to institutionalizing Buddhist philosophies, such as putting them into policies and goals and targets and something measurable, we should see something different. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can have a last question, but we didn't hear from Middle East, from Latin America, from Africa, from Europe. We didn't hear anywhere. Yes, sir. Please identify yourself. This is the last question. Can you hear her question?
Yes, Venerable Sir. My name is Stanley from Sydney, Australia. I have a question. The Buddha teaching is very profound and very simple. But how can the Buddhist community can pass on to the new generation to put on practice? Thank you.
Yes, Venerable Bante Chao, please.
Well, the simple answer for this is, you see, I know we always talk about how we can teach others, but and also we have to do ourselves also. As parents also, we should have to understand what we believe in. We call ourselves Buddhists. Are we really practicing Buddhist teaching, or do we really understand the Buddhist teaching? Then otherwise, how do we teach to our next generation? This is the question that I see all the time. See, most of the children are well educated now, and then when they ask questions, the parents might say, "Oh, no questions, just follow me." That kind of logic doesn't work in the modern life, modern day life. So we have to understand that this is the responsibility of our adults to understand what Buddhism is all about. Because as Buddhism, what I see myself is not Buddhist teaching, actually practicing in many places, even we call Buddhist centers or whatever. As I said before, what we are having is the culture. We are really working on our traditions and cultural things rather than the teaching. That emphasis needs to be reduced, and the Buddhist teaching needs to be bring in more and more and more. Like Venerable Hansa yesterday had a very interesting training program. And then how we can bring these children in? Yes, we can. I think we saw that a lot of children followed the techniques, the methods, the training and everything. So there are ways to teach the children, but then we should know the skillful means how to bring them in. So I think that's just a simple answer. Thank you.
Thank you, but I have one last request from Australia, Most Venerable Tikwamba. Please make it short.
Tikwamba from Australia. There are two requests, not questions. Yes, the ICDV had working hard and combined with the effort from IABU for the last over 10 years. Now the fruitful come out as we already published the first version of combined Buddhist text. I request that whether we could publish this combined Buddhist text in other languages and also in English, but more copy to be printed and make it available in more locations in the world, because it will help people, both professional and common Buddhists, to learn the necessary knowledge in that book rather than have to go through all the Tripitaka. Second request is, hence we already have a very large network of many Buddhist university colleges and department of certain university which has some good Buddhist curriculum or Buddhist center or faculty.
how come we don't see any promotional process or curriculum or any introduction material of those universities and colleges to be circulated during this annual conferences? Because if thousands of people come to this conference, take away with them those material or information, then it will be very beneficial for them to circulate to those, to member or students of their own country or region. That's very important. We use this forum as one of the places where all the university can promote their own name and fame. Thank you.
Thank you, most venerable from Australia. I will ask Venerable Dhammasami. He is the person to can give you answer, please.
Thank you, Venerable. The CPT will be translated into many languages. We have already done the Thai translation, and hopefully in a year or two, there will be 6 or 7 other languages available. A lot of work has been going on for this. On the second question, I also would like to tell you that anyone, any language interested to translate the CBT into that language, can approach the MCU or myself. We have the CBT committee with the rector as the chairman and myself as the secretary. And in terms of the university, I take your point, we need to make the information more available, and this is not happening. And as the Secretary General of the Association of the University, I take your suggestion into heart and will make this happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, after our Venerable President, we can have another 15 minutes until 3:15. So I would like to ask from Latin American countries, if anyone at least to greet for our last plenary. We didn't hear from Latin America, even not from Africa. No any delegate from Latin America? No one? What about from Africa? What about Middle East? At least greeting for our last gathering. Please, go ahead.
Yeah.
Stand up. Everybody can see your face.
My name is Lai Ket Yong from Dubai, UAE, the president of the Middle East Meditation Center and coordinators for Middle East Buddhism. I have one question regarding the panel discussion yesterday pertaining to the development of Buddhism. Yeah. Yesterday, as one of the speakers has mentioned, that there is multiples and benefits of meditations, and there are so many benefits and it's so good about meditation, but there's only in America, USA alone is less than 8% of the population meditate, as well as worldwide, I think is much less than that. How do we encourage the world to meditate? Because every time we are talking about true meditation, we can bring world peace and also human development. Thank you.
Thank you. Who is going to answer this question related to America? Yes, Mr. Ambassador.
Certainly it's not I am the most experienced meditator, but at least this very small and humble institution which I'm honored to be at head, the Hungarian Dharma Gate Buddhist College, we are teaching on a BA level every semester a different meditation techniques. And we are trying to go through the basic meditation techniques of the Theravada, the Mahayana, and the Vajrayana lineages as well. Our experience is showing that even in Europe, in a Western environment or whatever that environment might be described, the different meditation methods, finding different audiences, different kind of students, and also our evening classes and the mindfulness association which was just established in Hungary, all of those experiences showing a great interest in the different approaches, different meditation techniques. So there is no simple answer to your question, but definitely the best to seek out to the monastic community, invite them, and let them who are the most experienced teach us the meditation, and then that will appeal to different audiences effectively. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Conferences continue because 3 p.m. we are going to present Bangkok Declaration. Just a Chinese delegation, they have to take a plane, therefore they left the conference hall. Others I am asking to remain the conference hall, please. And we didn't hear from Europe. And Latin America. Yes, please.
As I know in a Buddhist precept, in the Buddha time, we have no internet and also the video game. But right now, lots of the lay people and Sangha member playing video game and also the smartphone. And this can become to practice samadhi.
Venerable sir, you are from where?
From Taiwan.
Yes, who is going to answer this question? Smartphone, internet, SMS, Viber. Yes, Venerable Chao Chu, please.
Well, actually, that's we talk about this also. The modern gadgets are also a, the what do you call, interrupt or stimulate their minds and then distract their way of life, and also it has some benefits, but the thing is addiction to these things also we call disease, a disease. So it all depends again how we educate our children and also adults or whoever use them to be not to be addicted. So this is something a little different, but as I said yesterday, you see, if we start teaching phone meditation, that may be much more easier so that children can sit quietly for 1 hour by looking at their phone and do reading something, but not connecting to the internet or something. We have to use some different techniques to follow their phones and touch their screen. Thank you.
We didn't hear this time Bangladesh. Where is the Bangladesh? Bangladesh, no any question this year?
No, I think enough. Take a break.
Africa? Yes, please. Microphone is there.
Yeah. My name is Ashok Babu. I am working as Joint Commissioner of Income Tax in India. My question is, with the conversion of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar from Hinduism to Buddhism, there was a revival of Buddhism in India. But since then, there is no serious activity from the Sangha side. What are the measures you are going to take? Because 30 crores of population are scheduled caste people, and they are waiting something from the Sangha, some initiative.
So next to you, Indian Sangha authority is there. Ask him
yes,
now.
Yes, he
answer.
is doing his part, but as Sangha, that whole world, what we are doing, or what are our plans to reach out to them?
You need to international Buddhist community, how you want to collaborate.
Yeah.
Venerable Dhammasami, yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. I didn't expect this question. But I think, the communication between the communities over there in India and outside, despite all the IT development in the iPhone 8, there is still not communication between people. Sometimes because of the language barrier. Actually, whenever I visit India or other country, I'm amazed, how little people know about us and how little we know about them. So I think if we come back to Buddhist principle, sati and panya, sati as communication, and panya as comprehension or understanding. So we need to improve this communication. There are Sangha members who are willing, to serve anywhere in the world, but they don't see this. So my summary is that a lot of work to do, but also no work to do. A lot of work to do because naturally there's a lot of suffering everywhere, so we need to put effort to reduce them. But no work to do means because we don't know that they are there.
Thank you very much, Venerable Dhammasami. Who is going to ask? Yes, please. We have first Venerable Sir, followed by the Madam. Yes, please. Okay. Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Venerable Dr. Ponchai from Thailand, World Alliance of Buddhists. I joined United Nations Day of Vesak many times, many years, and also joined Vesak Day in many countries, Taiwan, India, America, for example. One problem is Vesak Day in each country is not same day. For example, Theravada country, this year, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Sri Lanka already Vesak because full moon day of the 6th month. Vesak is mean the 6th month. But Thailand this year have the 8th month, 2 months. So Vesak day in Thailand is this year is the 7th month. So 29 May, the day after tomorrow is a Vesak day in Thailand. Theravada country is not same. For Mahayana country is different. Some country 8 of April. Some country is the second Sunday of May. But for the United Nations declaration that 1999 say that Vesak Day is on the full moon day of May. So and I see the Bangkok Declaration of United Nations Day of Vesak that the Vesak Day is also the Vipassana Day. One year, I cannot remember. So if possible, we organize the Vesak Day like a Christmas Day. Okay, we can organize Vesak Day in many countries, 2 months, April, May, but have one day like a Christmas Day, same day, same time. Maybe Vipassana or meditation together, same day, same time, all over the world. This is possible or not? My question.
May I answer for this question with your permission? Yes. So we fully agree with your request because when we say Visakha Puja, Vesak is the full moon day of month of May. That is true. There is no any argument. The Buddhist nation requested from the United Nations the full moon day of the month of May, a Vesak celebration, observance day for the Buddha all over the world. But our question is, as we are the International Organization Committee, we always discuss which day can be suitable. The full moon day of the Vesak, all those great masters, they have to remain in their own temple. If you celebrate, you take as example Christmas Day, that means Buddhist Mahanayaka, Supreme Patriarchs, leaders cannot move from their temple. They celebrate their own temples.
Sorry, Venerable. I mean we can celebrate like the year before. In each tradition, each Nikaya can celebrate. but we still have one more day, celebrate same day, same time together. I mean like this.
Yeah. I think this is the only platform we are now preparing. International Buddhist community to come together, one place to celebrate. So all over the world, of course, Vesak Day they can celebrate. There's no any question. So if you wanted to get all international Buddhist leaders one platform, we are the organization to call them. That we are trying. Now we have 85 countries, our members. Our organization, we try our best to increase the numbers, if it is possible, one day, 195 countries who are recognized by the United Nations to become our members. So we will continue this effort. Of course, one day we will have this great opportunity to celebrate. Thank you very much for your proposal. Yes, I pass the floor to the Norway, please.
I am Nirmala from Norway. My question is about that empowering the youth through Buddhist education. We discussed a lot, there are a lot to do. My request is for the Executive Committee of United Nations Day of Vesak Conference. What can you do to involve more youth to this conference? This is 7th time I participate for this kind of Vesak conference, but each and every time there are very few youth from international arena who visit here. What can you do to involve more youth, both monks and lay people?
Moderator for youth, yes.
Well, I think it's a very good idea. Yes, but actually in the future, maybe if possible, we can arrange a special panel for the youth, so that the youth can share their ideas or their questions, can bring in and also discuss, and then I think they understand their language better than when we try to explain from our language. So youth can communicate themselves, and then we should, or we may be able to prepare a platform for them to discuss as youths. I think that this is a very good idea. Thank you.
Last question will go to France.
I would like to have a question.
Where?
Here. Here. Yeah.
Where is the place?
I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Dr. Surimongkol from Thailand.
Okay, because of the host country, I will give last question to France.
Right.
Please go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. When the Buddhism have the problem, such as from political problem or other religion problems, how should we can do together to solve the problems? Get a network or something to have a cooperation or something like that. How do we solve this problem?
Did you get the question? No? Can you repeat again your question, please?
Okay.
Very clearly.
Okay. When the Buddhism have the problem, such as from political issue or other religions, how can we solve the problem together? We support together. How can we do?
Yes, please go ahead. Answer for this question. Very short one.
Thank you very much for your question. My understanding is that Buddhists, and not only Buddhists, they have different methods, different gatherings, institutionalized gatherings, or depending of the problem what you are referring to, you need to identify the community and the institution which can handle it properly. So it's not depend on a general panacea or somewhere somebody would resolve all of our problems because he is the Sangaraja or because he is the Dalai Lama. So it is always depend on what kind of political problem we are dealing with and who are involved with those political problems and whether we have anything to say about that political problems. So there is no easy answer to your question. I think it's depend of the problem and depend of the country, depend of the context of the problem.
Thank you. For the last question to France.
Thank you, Venerable Damartana. My question is more about the way of learning Buddhism. To me, it appears that there's two ways of learning Buddhism. One which is a little bit strict, like with Vinaya, the rules that we have to follow. And another one which appears to be a little bit more flexible. As one of our speakers said yesterday, he was talking about the way they were organizing camp and letting the youth know their limits and let them experience things. And I would like to know which one appears to be the best to you, and if there is a way to modernize a little bit, maybe the way of learning Buddhism, maybe in Europe, because I'm thinking especially about France, because they are tough-minded, and it appears sometimes maybe strict Buddhism might not be getting into their head at first, but by doing it more flexible, it could make some better result maybe.
Thank you. Who is going to answer? Venerable Chao Chu, please.
Yes, from my experience, I can tell you, because as I'm coming from the United States, that we have been dealing with all these Americans and from different levels, that the teaching Buddhism is not an easy task. And then, do we really want to make it simplify? It all depends how we want to simplify. But then again, as I repeat in that, we need to teach them what is Buddhism, not the tradition. Like most of the Asian temples or the Buddhist centers established in even American centers are teaching some traditional cultural things a lot. So that keeps away the young or the new people who are coming into Buddhist teaching. And also when we come to them, when they come to the temples, we have to understand what they really need, because we need to talk to them in simple language that they understand. So that's another thing. And also the traditional chanting, traditional reading, traditional study sometimes keep them away. So there are many ways to handle these situations, but it all depends again how we handle case by case. But the thing is that again, we have to learn how to teach Buddhism as it is. So there are many small booklets for this now, many handbooks and many writings, and we can use for them to understand what Buddhism is all about and how to practice the teaching in their day-to-day life, rather than becoming a traditional Buddhist. Thank you.
Just to to be more democratic, the last question for the gentleman, make it short because time is past already. Please, your question, please.
Thank you very much for allowing me to ask these questions lastly, although it was not in a role. I would like to bring to the notice of the venerables all over the world that as we are celebrating 2561th Vaishak Day celebration here, in India, the celebration of Buddha Purnima had already been done before 1 month, on 38th of May. How this disparity happens in the world for the celebration of the full moon of Vaishak? And can the Supreme Sangha of the world reach to unanimous decisions that when and on which day Vaishak Day should be celebrated?
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's the same question that actually somebody else asked before, and then this is an interesting again. The main thing is that we Buddhist leaders have to get together and decide a date. If we want to celebrate on May 1st or May 15 or first Sunday of May or second Sunday of May, it all depends on our Buddhist leaders come to one platform, doesn't matter from what country or which tradition, they have to agree upon something like that. Then we can do it. In 1950, if you go back to the World Fellowship of Buddhists, the reports, you can see that they really wanted to bring this idea and put all these people together and to decide a date for celebration. But still, we have spent now almost 70 years, we have not done that yet. So I still maybe have to take more lifetimes to celebrate one day like Christmas. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, now time came to close the session of the last plenary of the 15th United Nations Day of Vaishak celebration. I would like to thank Most Honorable Bante Chauchu, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Jalan Janos, a Professor Dr. Kamai Dhammasamy from United Kingdom, and of course our panelists, our keynote speakers, and of course all of you. Make this event very successful. I would like to take opportunity at the same time to thank our Secretariat who work as our rapporteurs. Dr. Ping Tong Mansu Mitra Chai, a lecturer from University MCU, Venerable Win Puk Pu, MA student from the university, Venerable Hui Chen, also MA student of the university, Mr. Mark Hu Lahan. These are the people behind this scenery, collected all the information during last 3 days. I would like to take opportunity thank all those people in the scenery to make this conference make successful. So I would like to thank all of you participate in this last plenary. Thank you very much.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Patti Chamaratana, and also 3 moderators and panelists.
ค่ะและที่ได้จบไปนะคะก็เป็นการประชุมทางวิชาการนะคะซึ่งวันนี้นะคะเราก็ได้แลกเปลี่ยนมุมมองแนวคิดกันมากมายเลยทีเดียวค่ะในลำดับถัดไปนะคะเป็นการประกาศปฏิญญากรุงเทพมหานคร 2561 ในโอกาสนี้ดิฉันขอกราบอาราธนาพระเดชพระคุณศาสตราจารย์ดร.พระพรหมบัณฑิตอธิการบดีมหาวิทยาลัยมหาจุฬาลงกรณราชวิทยาลัยประธานสภาสากลวันวิสาขบูชาโลกและประธานกรรมการดำเนินการจัดประชุมชาวพุทธนานาชาติขอกราบเรียนเชิญค่ะ
Before inviting Most Venerable Prabhupada Pandit, I just would like to request Most Venerable, respected Venerable, and all participants to go together to Puttamanton for Vesak circummemoration to dedicate merits to our King Ramadan and also to glorify King Ramadan together. It is now the time for the announcement of the 2018 Bangkok Declaration. I would like to humbly invite the Most Venerable Professor Dr. Prabhupada Pandit, Rector of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya, President of International Council for the of Vesak and International Association of Buddhist University to announce the 2018 Bangkok Declaration.
Before I read the Bangkok Declaration, I would like to inform you that immediately after we end this meeting, the minister attached to the Prime Minister's office invite you on to join the chanting ceremony and candlelit procession at Puttamanton. This year's celebration is different from the previous one in that we don't close our celebration here. There is no closing ceremony. Usually we declare the closure of our celebration at the UN Conference Center. But this year, we would like to invite you to continue to celebrate together along with the Thai people and Sangha at Puttamanton as a part of Vesak celebration this year. So that is what I want to make you understand why we have no closing ceremony. And in our program, the venues of celebration are of three places. The opening ceremony taking place at MCU 2 days ago, and the second day is for conference. Today we celebrate here at UN Conference Center to have a finale of our celebration, but not the end. We have to go to Puttamanthon, if you don't mind, to join the Thai nations, and the Supreme Patriarch of Thailand will preside over the ceremony over there. That is what I would like you to understand why no closing ceremony. That means in this part I just read the Bangkok Declaration, and after at the end I would like you to proceed to Puttamanthon. Another point is that although there is a proposal of the next year, the host country for the next year propose to organize the celebration in their countries, but somehow there are at least two proposals, and we need the confirmation from their governments, not only from the Sangha. So we need time. I mean, Executive Council of the ICDV give 1 or 2 months to have the letter from the government to substantiate their proposal. So maybe in two months we will call upon the EXCO meeting to choose the host country of the next year Vesak celebration. So the following is the Bangkok Declaration of the 15 celebrations of the 15 celebrations of the United Nations Days of Vesak, May 25th through 27, 2018. At the main campus of Mahajulalongkorn Rajavitiyalaya University, Wang Noi, Ayutthaya, and the United Nations Conference Center, Bangkok, Thailand. On the 15th December 1999, representatives from 34 countries proposed to the General Assembly of the United Nations that the full moon day in the month of May be recognized and observed at the United Nations headquarters and its regional offices as the United Nations Days of Vesak. The General Assembly so resolved, and accordingly, the UN Day of Vesak was instituted in the year 2000 with the support of all Buddhist nations. In pursuance of that resolution, we participants from 85 countries and regions have come together on May 24 through 27, 2018. As in the previous years, the celebrations were graciously organized by Mahajulalongkorn Rajavitiyalaya University, MCU, and supported by the Royal Thai government under the guidance of the Supreme Sangha Council of Thailand. His Holiness Somdet Phra Ariyawang Sakhatayaan, the Supreme Patriarch of Thailand, blessed the celebrations, which were opened by General Bandit Malai Arisoon, the representative of His Majesty King Mahawachiralongkorn Badinthara Thepaya Warangkoon. The keynote speech was delivered by the Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bhutan, His Excellency Dacho Sering Thopke. During the celebration, we have explored the theme of the Buddhist contribution to human development, promoting mutual understanding and cooperation between organizations and individuals from the Buddhist traditions. At the conclusion of our successful celebrations and meetings, we have unanimously resolved as follows. Number one, to affirm that in keeping with the Buddhist worldview, it is an obligation to work tirelessly for the attainment of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. We dedicate ourselves to their attainment. Number two, to record our appreciation of the great success of the 14 United Nations Days of Vesak held in Colombo and Kandy, Sri Lanka in 2017. Number three, to applaud Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyaya University's publication of the second English edition of the Common Buddhist Text and the first Thai translation edition. Number four, to rejoice in the formal agreement made with MCU to translate Common Buddhist Text into Chinese, Hungarian, Indonesian, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, and Vietnamese that were signed during the celebrations. Number five, to recognize the progress made to launch the Union Catalogue of Buddhist Texts for placing the MCU edition of Pali Canon online, with the longer range goal of adding all the other Buddhist canons. Number six, to express our deep admiration for the sufficiency economy philosophy developed by the late King of Thailand, His Majesty Bhumibol Adulyadej, based on the middle path that consists of three components: moderation, reasonableness, and resilience. Number seven, to also express our deep appreciation for the well-known concept of cross-national happiness, developed by His Majesty Jigme Singye Wangchuk of the Kingdom of Bhutan, as measured through psychological well-being, community vitality, cultural and ecological diversity and resilience, health, education, good governance, and living standards. Number eight, to promote human development based on the insights and proposal presented by specialists from the entire world who were organized into 4 panels, as described below. A central unifying theme for panel presentations was the need to balance economic development with psychological and spiritual development that cannot be reduced to pursuing just physical well-being. That's the usual approach in economically developed society that conceive of human development only in terms of improving standards of living, healthcare, and education is not adequate. Instead, the full range of factors needs to be nurtured, including the ecological, social, and cultural dimensions. We thus need to focus ecological diversity and resilience and enhance community vitality and sympathetic connection with others. It is also vital to build bridges between generations, especially to give youth space to find their own creative way to live in the Dhamma. In particular, number 8.1. Panel number 1, Buddhist contribution to human development. To encourage an understanding of the interconnectedness of inner development and outer environmental sustainability. To urge religious leaders and their communities to make a commitment to the responsible use of resources. To create a community of compassionate togetherness in order to address the disconnectedness and inequality that pervades society, which harms both the privileged and the disadvantaged. To creatively apply Buddhist principles and contemplative practices for behavioral and spiritual transformation, such as in chaplaincy service. Number 8.2, Panel 2, empowering youth through Buddhist education. To employ Buddhist teachings such as virtuous living, generosity, knowledge of beings and the world, having trust in human goodness and wisdom, to solve the challenges facing youth, to reaffirm that the base Buddhist education is to live Dhamma. We can best empower the young people by inspiring and supporting them to find creative ways to integrate Dhamma in their own lives. To promote mindfulness among children and young monastics as a useful starting point for a peaceful society. Number 8.3, panel number 3, engage Buddhism for social welfare. To innovatively adapt the principle of socially engaged Buddhism to contemporary social problems and in secular contexts, such as in counseling and psychotherapy, treatment of addiction and hospice, in order to transform violence into non-violence, greed into contentment, confusion into understanding. Number 8.4, panel 4, preserving cultural identity in an interconnected world. In support of promoting mutual respect among cultural identities, we will promote a culture of knowledge, mutual understanding, and enlightenment that is based on universal values and an understanding of the law of interdependence in relation to cultural identities. To cultivate an understanding of the formation and transformation of personal and collective identities that promote inner harmony with the diversity of those identities. Done at the Bangkok Declaration of the 15th celebrations of the United Nations Day of Vesak, this 27th day of 2018, that Bangkok Declaration. Please give a big applause to ourselves. This is the declaration that will be your memo when you go home to tell your friends, your followers, what is the gist, the essence of the meeting. What is our roadmap for the future achievement that we aim to go together to arrive at the goals. Somehow we need a way to work together and to implement what we declare in Bangkok Declaration. We have set up the organization called ICDV to look into this kind of implementation with expectation of the success. But our organization alone cannot achieve the goal. We need support from all Buddhist countries, Buddhist traditions, to merge our relationship and connection to further our goal. That, as it's been observed, that our celebration is not just a ceremony. The essential foundation for our unity is in our serious work that we have done so far together. We hope that we will pursue this policy, and when you have this declaration with you, please try to study it, understand its meaning, and help in any way to achieve our goal, and also to support the world body to achieve its goals, that is SDGs, so that the whole world can go together. That is the answer to the question how Buddhism can contribute to development. That is our homework to you all to think about and to work on it. As a host country, we appreciate your participation. We are thankful to you all and look forward to seeing you in the next Vesak celebration. Thank you very much.
ขอกราบขอบพระคุณนะคะพระเดชพระคุณศาสตราจารย์ดร.พระพรหมบัณฑิตค่ะ
Thank you very much, the most venerable sir.
สำหรับการประชุมวันวิสาขบูชาโลกนะคะที่จัดขึ้นณศูนย์ประชุมสหประชาชาติแห่งนี้นะคะได้จบลงแล้วค่ะแต่กิจกรรมของการเฉลิมฉลองวันวิสาขบูชาวันสำคัญสากลของโลกครั้งที่15ประจำปีนี้นะคะยังไม่จบลงค่ะอีกสักครู่นะคะเราจะเดินทางนะคะเพื่อไปเจริญพุทธมณฑลเพื่อสันติภาพและเวียนเทียนนะคะณลานหน้าองค์พระศรีสากยทศพลยานประธานพุทธมณฑลสุทัศน์พุทธมณฑลจังหวัดนครปฐมค่ะ
The celebration of the Day of Vesak 2018 at the United Nations Convention Center in Bangkok is completed, but the closing ceremony of the 15th United Nations Day of Vesak 2018 is not done. It is going to be done at Puttamonthon, and also it will be presided over by His Holiness Somdet Pari Wongsakatayan, Supreme Patriarch of Thailand at Puttamonthon. That's why we would like to request most venerable, respected venerable Buddhist scholars, ladies and gentlemen, to participate in the closing ceremony at Puttamonthon, presided over by His